I've got a few things going on in the van. I'm finishing up the shower, which I am filming. At the same time, I'm going to be filming this. So another check engine light came on, but I checked it with the sensor and it said the left front tire speed sensor has gone bad. So I'm going to replace that. And I'm also going to paint these rims black. So I have to take them off anyway to get to that speed sensor to then paint this rim. And the way these little hubcaps are on there is they're kind of pressure fitted around all the little nuts. So I got a caulk gun with a little hook on the end of it. And just pull it pretty hard, and that'll get it off there. And before you jack it up, make sure you stick something behind your back wheels and pull that parking brake up. And a jacking point for the front of a Sprinter van. Here's the front tire, looking down, right there. This is a 2016 2500 Sprinter van. So as you can see, that little thing right there, that's the jacking point. And wouldn't you know it, my jack is too short to reach it. So I traded that jack for the one that actually came with the Sprinter, and I put it on a big block of oak. So make sure, here is the little pump, and there's two ends of it, and they're both notched, or this one's notched. And that notch is to make sure this little valve is closed. Tighten that little valve, and that'll make sure your pump is in working order. And I'm going to flip this around so I can actually access this through the outside. And up we go, slowly but surely. And just for extra security, I went ahead and put my other jack up there with some 2x4s in the middle. That's not a good way to jack something up, but I just put it up there just snug with it. So in case, you know, this fails or whatever, I'll have this as a backup. And you want to make sure your tire is semi-touching the ground so you can break these bolts loose. Because if you try to break them with the tire not touching, you'll never get enough force behind it. So I'm going to lower my jacks a little bit just so these tires will touch, just kiss the ground to have enough break-in friction. And to release the pressure in these types of pumps, or these types of jacks, you just slowly undo that little bolt at the bottom. I'm going to need to use two hands. These were pretty stuck, even with me stepping on it with these bolts. I couldn't get it, so I had to use my long arm from my other jack to stick in there and just to give me some extra leverage to break all these bolts free. And when you're breaking your bolts, you want to go in a skip every one type pattern. So undo, 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 then these, just like that, just to give it equal depressurization, I guess, of undoing all your bolts. Ooh, and your tire is now off. And what I'm going to be replacing is this little mechanism right here, this ABS speed sensor, which connects to this bolt. So you undo this little star head bolt right there, and it wraps around and clips into that place. And all you got to do to take this off is to remove this little bolt right here, which is a, I don't know what size it is, a star head fitting. And I didn't have any of those in my kit, but coincidentally I had a screwdriver that had the perfect opening to get it off. So now you slowly pull it off of there. You don't want to break it down in there. I had to use a flathead screwdriver to break it off of there, but it was pretty sealed on there with some rust, and that might be why it wasn't working too good. So after following those wires, I already got the new one put back into those little clips, but I created a little wedge because this thing was up in here and I couldn't get to it, and you can't really get to it from the engine compartment. So I had to somehow get that out of there to plug right back in the new one. So now that's all taken care of. And now all you got to do is slide this back in the little hole, which probably needs to be cleaned out, and then just screw it back in, and that is your ABS speed sensor installed. And I'm going to go ahead and put my tire back on. I'm not ready to paint it because I got to go to work, and I need to drive it for a second to clear that check engine light. So same process of taking them off. You want to tighten them down, not super tight, and tighten them, skipping every bolt. When you got them on there as tight as they go with the tire free spinning, you want to lower it down real slow. And now you can really get some force behind tightening your bolts. And once you got them all tightened, you just slide your hubcap back on.